What really strikes me about this process is the rigor of the process itself. We have multiple people, multiple reviews for each and every item. And this is important because teachers wanted a seat at the table in an involvement in the development of state testing assessments, and with PARCC they really have it. What's different about PARCC is that this isn't an off-the-shelf assessment product. This is a test that teachers and educators are creating for other teachers and educators. One of the reasons there are so many educators involved in this process is to make sure that the test is fair. And when we talk about the test being fair, we're really talking about a number of things. First of all, we want to be sure that the test is free from bias and insensitivities. And what that really means is that no test item would, just by the design of the item, be easier or harder for a specific set of students. Another thing that we want to make sure about is that the test actually measures the standards that we're trying to measure. So that's what we mean by fair. It's another way to define fair. So another way that we make sure that the test is fair is to make sure that it's developmentally appropriate. And what we really mean by that is that we're designing an item for a third grader, that the item represents the kind of teaching and learning that happens in a third grade classroom. I like to say that the PARCC assessments begin and end with great teaching. It begins with great teaching because as we look at each and every item, one of the things we ask is, does this item represent what great teaching and great learning looks like? Is this what it looks like in the classroom? Is this how the standards get discussed, played out, focused on by students each and every day? And if the answer is yes, we've got a really great item. And if the answer is no, then that item needs to either be revised, or if it can't match what quality teaching looks like, then we don't use that item. As teachers, one of the things that's really difficult for us is coming up with the right kinds of high quality questions to ask students to match up with our standards. When we look at items that have been released, and PARCC will be releasing many more items than any testing system I've worked with in the past. When you look at the sample items, the practice items, they really show you what a quality item looks like and the way that we can frame our questions in the classroom. So questioning is a technique that we all learn as we're going through teacher education and teacher education programming. And looking at the PARCC items can really help us frame out what models of good questions look like.